This is one of the passages in the Old Testament where we have a Qere and a Ketiv reading. Now, you might be asking, what is a Qere and a Ketiv reading? A Qere, Qere, this is a particular reading, and Qere is just a Hebrew phrase which means what is read. And so the Qere reading is, of course, there so that you are supposed to read what it actually says. Now, Ketiv means what is written. And so in Hebrew, you'll have a Qere and a Ketiv reading on a variety of passages. In fact, it shows up over 1,300 times in the Old Testament. And the Ketiv is what the original text said. But for a variety of reasons, they've actually made a slight modification, and they'll put alongside the Ketiv, usually after it, the Qere reading, which is what you're supposed to say instead of what is actually written. That's why it's Qere, what is read, as opposed to the Ketiv, what is written. So we had these in the Masoretic text, as I pointed out, and the reason why these Hebrew scribes would actually put in a Qere reading is that they wanted some clarification about how something should be pronounced. Sometimes the Qere reading offers what appears to be a grammatical correction or some sort of assistance in a sensitive reading, perhaps to avoid a sense of irreverence to God himself. And so we're going to look at this particular passage, and we're going to see why it is that a Qere reading actually was placed within Isaiah chapter 44, verse 24. Okay, so what does the text actually say? What is written? What is the Ketiv reading? Okay, so in Hebrew, we have mi eti, which really just means who, and then with me. Who was with me? And this is, of course, that rhetorical question, implying, of course, that nobody was with Yahweh, because if he did it by himself, all alone, as one person, if he was unaccompanied, and if he himself is the maker of all things, then asking the rhetorical question, who was with me, implies and demands a negative answer. Obviously, nobody was with him. Okay? But if you take those two Hebrew phrases and you put them together, you actually have what turned out to be the Qere reading. And the Qere reading is me'iti. And this actually is not the former reading. When you put those two former words together and you put them together in this way into a single word, it actually changes the meaning to from besides me. From besides me, which idiomatically is going to mean by myself.